All right, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about the arrows. I want to talk a little bit about like what I have changed this year, um, what my plans are, what I will be hunting with, and then kind of like maybe even a little bit of what next year looks like. So as of right now, this is my hunting arrow. This is a Black Eagle Rampage 400 spine with 100 grain. This is a field point, 100 grains on the front, and then the focus system. And I believe the focus system equates to another 100 grains on the front. So it's a insert, the like focus collar, which is an aluminum outsert, and a little screw that goes in to kind of hold the two together. That is what this is. I just run the normal Arnox on the back. I have considered going to lighted Nox, but I just honestly have not found a good system. The lighted Nox I have kind of were all over the place and inconsistent, and the I would like to go to one that I can actually like turn off and on and keep on the arrow the whole year, something like that. I don't know. I understand the value of lighted Nox and I want to use them. They just seem to suck, and I haven't been able to figure out how to work around that. So wraps, I go ahead and I just cut my own wraps. I found that is way more cost efficient, buying just a huge roll of vinyl and then going through and cutting those myself. And then AE hybrid vanes, these are right helical right now. These new strings actually clock left. But honestly, I don't notice a huge difference, and I'm not changing anything right now. When I look to build arrows next year, I probably will look to change that, but I'm not changing these. AE hybrid vanes. I used AE max vanes for most of this year, and I hate the primer pen. It is really annoying. I don't feel like I feel like the more I've done it, the better I've gotten. But it's just like another variable of another thing to make sure that those veins stick. You'll see that is what's in my bow right now. I shouldn't stick a sharp object next to the strings, but you will see that is what is in my bow right now, and that's kind of what I have been practicing with. But I'll move to these and shoot them once or twice right before season, dial them in along with the sight tape. These are slightly heavier. I believe these vanes, the hybrid vanes, are actually just a little bit lighter. So there's probably 4 grain difference. These are 426 grain arrows right now. And these are 430. Yeah, that is kind of everything about the arrow, I believe. I do hot melt my inserts in. I started doing that just because I had a couple arrows that broke and wanted to get the components out, and like basically couldn't with super glue without destroying things. So did that so that if the arrow busts and the components don't, or vice versa, the components component busts but not the arrow. Had that happen a few times at TAC, where the field point was busted, the outsert was busted, but the arrow was still good, as was the insert. So that's the arrow itself. Looking at what I will be will be in the quiver for this fall, as far as like what's on the end. So this is a Grim Reaper Microhex 3-blade. I believe this is technically the Grim Reaper Pros Microhex 3-blade, 100 grain. Man, for the cost of these, I can't. I don't feel like they can be beat. On a follow up shot last year, or one of my shots, yeah, Um, this actually ended up hitting the back leg of a mule deer and actually slicing off the bone. Arrow shattered as well, but like I was really impressed with this hitting bone. Obviously, that's not something we look to do, but when you're um, kind of moving quickly and trying to get in those extra shots, um, you're just trying to get arrows down range, and that's what I did. I was actually shooting with a release, my kind of backup release at that point, as I have mentioned before, that the my primary release had the knob had become loose, and I got my primary shot off with that, but every other follow up shot wasn't. Really happy with the Microhex. I buy into what Dan at Elkshape and others talk about utilizing fixed blades. My current distance for these is 40 yards. I won't shoot over. I won't take an animal past 40 yards with these. And yeah, I've been shooting out to 50, shooting broadheads out to 50, and been happy with the placement. So moving in 10 from there, and that's going to be kind of my shot limit. Also, I got this case for this year. Last year, kind of had things just floating around in an arrow box in the truck. Decided to pick up this case on Amazon. I think it was like $20, something like that, $15. The other arrow that I will have in my quiver, primarily for follow-up shots, will be a mechanical. So these are the Evolution Outdoors Hyde mechanical broadheads. They come in this nice box here. 3 come in a pack. I also have a practice head that I think you have to get the practice head separately. At least I had to. So 3 come in a set. And I really wanted to make sure I had a mechanical. This is a 2-inch cutting diameter. And it does have, right, like it has it's I think they call it a Hyde because it has some of that it's an homage to I believe the Jekyll and Hydes. Don't quote me on that, but the big thing was like there's still something that's going to cut here and do some damage even if those blades don't deploy. I kind of liked that. Feels a little bit hybrid-y. This is what I choose to go with. Man, I have been watching Beast get the hype this season, and I'm not going to be hunting with those this season, but I definitely plan to have to pick some of those up before we get to next season for sure. So those are my arrow choices. Those are my broadhead choices. A few things that we talk about will be different for next year. So as I've mentioned, right now I am at 63 pounds on my bow. If you didn't catch that, that was mentioned in my bow breakdown video, or kind of going over my bow setup. Let me just back up real fast. I am, I don't know, 18 months into shooting a bow, something like that. And so I have kind of kept my draw weight down a bit to really focus on dialing in fundamentals. As I look towards next year, my plan is to actually go back and to get up to 70 pounds. Pull weight. I believe I can do that, and believe kind of as I've developed those the archery muscles, that I will be able to get up to 70 pounds and do that comfortably and begin to work that in. Now, if I don't, and I decide to stay at 65 pounds, that will be fine. But based off of the research that I've done, I am probably on the very borderline of too light spine for even the current poundage that I have. And I wouldn't want to go up to, again, based off of research I've done, going up probably would really put these at weak spine. I'm not seeing any negative effects that I have seen based off of my current setup, but based off of the charts, based off of some of the spine calculators, moving up to 70 pounds would probably put that at too weak. And so I plan on moving to 350s or 340s, kind of in that 350, 340 range next year. I didn't want to do that right before season. I don't think it's necessary based off of the weight that I'm currently shooting, but I wanted to, my plan is to get up there. I'll be testing in probably a variety of different arrows as well as we move into next season. I've used the Rampage 350s before. I have a half dozen of Easton Access 5 mils that I might look at. The Victory Rips are interesting as well. One other thing to call out about this arrow that I guess I forgot to mention rather, is that these are 0.003 straightness arrows. I was shooting 0.001s, and honestly, for the cost, like I haven't been able to see a difference, for that extra $20. I don't think I can outshoot these arrows right now, and so I'm focusing on me and getting those, getting the things dialed in that I can, and things like arrow straightness. I think that these will do everything I need them to, at least for the foreseeable future. So I've gone with, kind of back down at least to 3 straightness. And I honestly, if they offered Rampage in 0.006, I don't think I would bat an eye at that either. One last thing that I forgot to mention: the total arrow length. And this is one of the reasons why I believe that I can get away with that lighter spine, based off the calculations I've done, is that this is a 26.5-inch arrow. Yeah, my draw weight is my draw length is 27.5 on this Phase 4. There's some question around whether, depending on the bow, whether I might be up kind of closer to that 28. But when I was really looking at my form, particularly with a handheld, I noticed that like my hand was way pulled back. And so I moved down to 27.5 this year. I forgot to mention that in the bow breakdown. 27.5 is my draw length. That has fit me a lot better, has put me at what has felt like a lot better anchor point for me. And because of that, I'm able to shoot a pretty short arrow, and that ends up increasing the stiffness as I actually end up cutting that down. So that's why I think the 350s will end up working well as I move up in weight, and probably should hopefully cover me, as I kind of move on, even if I were to move on to like 75-pound mods or something like that. So there it is. This is the arrow we'll be hunting with. These are the broadheads that will be in the quiver. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe. Let me know what you're shooting. Let me know what you've been testing. And catch you next time.